Now we got to go for 200.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got to do. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's episode of the Run and Gun Podcast. I'm Jay Peeps.
And I'm Ace.
Am I pointing in the right direction?
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay, double check. I had to be sure. You never know nowadays. Um, but yeah, folks. Tonight's episode is going to be a fun one. We got all the goodies for you. We're gonna talk about it. Of course, college football media days are here. We got a lot of talk in the SEC. You got SWAC Media Day coming up. Oh man, what else do we got,
Next
Ace?
week. Next week is Fuck Media Day, right?
Yeah, and fall camp getting ready to open up too, like very very shortly.
Yes, sir. The
Getting ready
goodies
to,
beginning. We're about ready to roll, rock and roll, ready to roll. You know, all the goodies. But yeah, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. What we got for this episode is something special, gotta keep it entertained, interesting. D Hop signed, finally.
oh yeah, no, that's gonna be an interesting talking point tonight.
That's gonna be a topic to talk about. Um, Henry Ruggs not influencing these young guys coming up enough. I find, saw what Jordan Addison got arrested for today. Apparently, Henry Ruggs had no impact on his decision making, his downfall. So talking about that too. You clearly did not see that. That came out
Dude,
today.
dude, I have
You've been
been
busy.
I've been
I've been grinding.
eating and breathing school, so
Same.
I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised. So I'm curious to figure out what this is that you're talking about. So yeah,
Oh yeah, shout out y'all for the finally hitting 150 subscribers. Thank you very much, everybody. Now we gotta aim for 200. Going for 200.
gotta go ahead and just put it out there.
So thank y'all for that. MLB All-Star Weekend's finished now, so we're ready for your trade deadline and getting ready for the final run in that sport. Summer League is finished now, so we can talk about who stood out. Maybe like Summer League's a bunch of fraud game anyway. Like there's guys who don't do squat in the NBA who show out in Summer League, so I don't think too much of it. Draymond and Jordan Poole having still some unsquashed beef almost. But they're not on the same team. Draymond and Jonathan Kuminga not getting along. That's a thing apparently. But we're gonna have fun doing it. We're gonna talk all the goodies. Run that intro.
I got you, man.
See you on the next time.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP.
This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash.
This is Jimi Hendrix.
And you're listening to
And you are listening to
And you're listening to
And you're listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
What up? We're back.
So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So as you know, start off with HBCU talk right away. So here we go. Let it be said, as we already know, so the Hall of Fame, and we're going to talk about it in more in depth in the NFL part of the show too. So the Hall of Fame came up with the order of who's going to go and everything like that. And so Ken Riley will inducted second, and his son Ken Riley Jr. will be, I believe it's Ken Riley Jr. Oh my goodness, I can't even think.
Right
And
off
then
the bat, the old man has a brain fart. It's all good. It's all good.
look, Ken Riley's son will be inducting him. They're actually letting people do speeches now, which is a beautiful thing because I think
Took him long enough.
and see and
NBA's been doing it.
you're not the first person to say that because that issue came to light when Junior Seau got in the league or went into the Hall, and so they wanted like the family wanted to speak and give their piece, but at first the Hall of Fame committee was not going to let them do it. But they fought and they kept fighting, and eventually they were able to do it. So now, coming forward or going forward now, multiple players that are passed on or that are no longer with us are able to do that now, to have a family member speak for them. I'm not sure for how long, but they can do that now because I know for a fact Kenny Stabler's grandsons they unveiled his bust, but I sure wish that he should have been in there a lot sooner. Hey, he should have been able to do it or speak at his own Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Same way I don't forgive the NFL for waiting so long for Ken Riley, because Ken Riley should have been in years ago. Honestly, just if you can look at his numbers. Honestly, the numbers speak for themselves. Literally fifth all time in the league in interceptions. I think number one all time is Paul Carew, or Paul Kraus, I believe his name is. He leads all time, but I mean, to be top 5 in the NFL and knowing he retired back in the early 80s, I believe. Yeah, the early 80s, and then, not being in the Hall of Fame until now, that's insane. It's just insane. I don't get it. And things like this, the bias against HBCU players and stuff, it needs to stop, because I think that that's a little bit of what this stems from. But I'm happy he's going in. I know in spirit he's there, but I just wish physically he could be here to give his own speech and talk about his time with Jake Gaither, talk about his time playing with the Bengals. You know what I mean? Okay, my tirade's over.
Okay, yeah. So how should we say this? Like I said, it took them long enough to letting passed on players' families speak for them for the Hall of Fame announcement, because it's a big deal for their accomplishments, and then for the family to have like not closure, but they can honor what he's done, even though he can't be there to celebrate. They can celebrate it for him. So being allowed to speak for him, that's a good thing. Get some stories in there. Who doesn't like a good story time anyway? Let's be real. Everybody does like a good story time.
Dude, they gave Michael Irvin a lob mic.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally. But let me stop. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this in the second segment. But yeah, I'm like, I wish that he could be here physically to about it, because I would love to have heard some of those stories from him personally.
Who knows? Maybe the son probably knows a couple stories.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm counting on, honestly.
Yeah, so like maybe we get a little bit of tidbit in there somewhere, that we wouldn't have otherwise got, since, they now decide to do it. But yeah, with that, what he's going into the Hall of Fame. When Hall of Fame comes around, that means football season is here, basically. His Hall of Fame game starts up preseason, fall camps already started for colleges and stuff like that. So, football season's ready to go. So, with that being said, fall camp's gonna be open with week 0 right around the corner. So that means SWAC Media Day is literally next week, July 25th, which is in, I want to say, 5 days. Today's the 20th. I thought today was the 19th for a minute there. Don't ask me why. I don't know.
Actually, because we're in a group chat with a couple other FAMU folks, and there's an article that came out from the Tallahassee Democrat where Willie Simmons was talking about his team's progression throughout the summer and the steps that they've taken as a team. If I can find it, because it's somewhere buried in here. If I find it, I'm still looking. But while I look as well too, well, I guess you already did.
At least this year we can focus on football and not no other drama going on with other teams to be able to talk about that. We get to think about solely football next week, basically. we're gonna say, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, this guy was in a boot next week." I don't know why I'm gonna remember that from last year.
I
I can't
don't.
believe we actually had to talk. We really had to talk about a guy being in a boot.
The crazy thing about it is, I didn't. I totally forgot about that. But the fact that you still remember that is like just incredible. Okay, so here we go. I got it here.
See,
Well,
good
some
little tidbit to keep us going.
So July is entering its third week, meaning the Florida A&M football training camp is near, which basically the third week is almost basically done. The Rattlers will report to campus August 2nd. The first official practice is scheduled for August 4th at Bragg Memorial Stadium. Prior to camp start, the NCAA allotted 8 hours a week for players to work out in preparation for the upcoming season, which has been utilized to its full capacity. We can't, and Willie Simmons said this, and I quote, "We can't wait to get to training camp. It seems as if it's been a turtle's pace." FAMU head coach Willie Simmons said on his team's eagerness to start practicing, "We're utilizing our 8 hours per week as far as getting our individual drill work done. The biggest thing is that the guys are here working out with the strength and conditioning staff. You see a lot of improvement from the guys, and they're taking advantage of the meeting time that we have to get an understanding of what we want to do and how we do things." As well, too,
Mhm.
I think the summer is by far the best we've had thus far, and it'll pay huge dividends for us after securing their third consecutive 9-win season in 2022. The Rattlers will play an 11-game regular season slate with the goal of reaching December's SWAC championship game and the HBCU Celebration Bowl, which both would be the first appearances in program history. And then you already know
Well,
the season with
they've
Jeff.
like only been around in the SWAC for like three years.
Exactly. High expectations here on the highest of Seven Hills, and rightfully so, Simmons said of the looming 2023 season. We feel we've put together a football team that will be right in the thick of the SWAC race, just like we've been the last couple seasons. We have our starting quarterback returning in Jeremy Musa, a lot of our all-conference returnees. The defense is reloaded after losing some key pieces from last season, and even the special teams phase after losing kicker Jose Roman Martinez, punter Christopher Duell to graduation and the pros, as well as special teams coordinator Chili Davis, who left recently. There's a lot of excitement externally and internally about what the season looks like. We can't wait to get on the grass again. I'm as optimistic as I've ever been, and we're looking forward to an amazing football season. Simmons and Sykes are in the midst of the Rattler Athletic Fund Strike Tour, which began in Jacksonville. Recently, they were in Houston, and they were in Dallas and in Miami. A trip to Fort Lauderdale is slated for July 27th, here in a few days. They learned how we do things, our culture, our traditions here. For the most part, they've acclimated themselves pretty well, Simmons said of the early signees. We have some that just got on campus for summer term, so they're still figuring things out. Simmons continued about the late additions. We don't have as much interaction with them as normally we would, being that it's summertime and we're restricted to 8 hours of work. Most recently, FAMU landed a commitment from FBS Tulane defensive back TJ Huggins on July 5th. Huggins is a redshirt sophomore from Miami and was a top 100 player in the state of Florida as a 3-star 2021 prospect at Killian High School. And then you already know the rest. Kamari Stevens entered the portal, and
Nobody cares. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so speaking of media day, I am quite interested. I don't know if 80 Sykes will be there, but I'm kind of curious to see how the season's gonna go. You know, with her first year being in charge of that whole program basically now. So I want to see if any changes are made to, like infrastructure based stuff. I'm sure we would have known, but you never know. Some change might happen during the year. So that will be interesting to see. And we got to see how the wide receivers address. Moose's like Coach Simmons said coming back, but you got to see. You lost Xavier Smith, your wide receiver one. So
there are
how are these receivers going to step up?
there are a couple things, honestly, that there's a couple accolades that I would like to see conquered, I should say, this season as far as this team goes. It's because if you think about it, I'm gonna be real, and not a lot of people know this. So if you're watching this, buckle up. FAMU has not scored a touchdown in the city of Miami or within the walls of Dade County since 2014 in a 41-7 loss against Miami. FAMU has not won a game in the city of Tampa, Hillsborough County, since the 1996 Florida Classic. As well, too, if FAMU can capture the SWAC title this year, it would be the first time that a team has won 3 different conference titles, which would mean FAMU's already captured the SIAC Conference Championship. FAMU's already captured MEAC titles. And then adding a SWAC title, that would be the trifecta. Having already done that in baseball, by the way. So if they do it in football, ooh, get ready. If they do it in football. But those are just some tidbits going into this season that have not been talked about in a while. As well, too, look at your 3rd straight season of beating Bethune Cookman for the first time since 2008 to 2010.
Yeah, that game shouldn't be remotely close anyway.
Yeah, it shouldn't, honestly. But yeah.
Too bad we're kind of writing them off, but like when we have that details of like what the dorms are and like, you know. Not really.
I don't know. So now I pose this for you.
FAMU's. What questions would I ask?
Yeah.
I just say, entering your 3rd season in SWAC, you've already been 9-2 twice. You've had rough starts to the season. What are you hoping to accomplish this year to be different at your start? Because last 2 seasons they've had very rough starts. They'd lose week 0 to whoever they're playing, and then they'd lose week 1 to whoever they're playing. Most like it was USF both times. I think week 1.
USF was week 3 in 2021, and then UNC was week 0. Jackson State was week 1 both years.
They lost 3 games last year, right? Or 2?
They lost 2 last year, to both of them to start the season, and they rallied and just went on a tear and won 9 straight. They won 8 straight, I believe. Yeah, 8 straight before dropping that 3rd one in the FCS championship to Southeast Louisiana.
Yeah, I know that. Like I said, you have rough starts to the season. What you're hoping to accomplish differently this year. Last year we understood what happened with the eligibility issues, but and you're gonna determine if you're gonna be in the SWAC championship in the 1st month of the year.
Yeah, honestly, and this is where I look at it like this. It's one of those things where it's like, everybody loves to start off with like a cakewalk type of game, like a D2 school, like not a D2 school, but like a lower tier FCS school or some type of D2 HBCU, like how I'm sure they would love to have started off with like Albany State, or in the past they've started off with Fort Valley to get the momentum going, kind of build themselves up before they get into conference play. But now it's one of those situations where it's like you got to get up for it and get rolling right away. And honestly, this is where learning and talking to other coaches plays a factor. It doesn't hurt to reach out to, a Mike Norvell right across the tracks and ask him, how do you go about approaching and preparing for a huge week 1 opener? Because Mike Norvell's got his own issues to worry about with LSU. Or talking to other coaches out there, I mean, it's a stretch, but reach out to a guy like Nick Saban, who's opened up with countless top flight teams, or attractable names, I should say, week 1. USC, Wisconsin, who else? Michigan. How do you approach opening up like that? How do you maintain focus? How do you not press too hard? What's your preparation like? What do you do when you get guys into these big cities and stuff? How do you keep everybody focused? Things like that. But I mean, of course, again, like I say on Saturdays, I'm just a guy behind a computer. I can't tell somebody how to run their program. So I'm just going to leave that at that. But yeah, at some point it's just, you got to elevate from 9-2 seasons. And I think that hopefully this is that year, because 3 straight, it's like Warren Sapp used to say, when you've gone to the playoffs time and time again and come away with nothing, it's about time. How many carries Yant get? Mm.
Remember last year I actually nailed Jeremy Moose's stat line? That was actually funny.
On it, you know what? Go ahead, then, Ace. How many carries is Yant?
Give me 23 carries. I'm feeling 23 carries coming.
But I see he's also asking the question to like, what would you ask Coach Simmons at media day? But yeah, no, that's one thing I would ask too. That definitely is. But I could see Yant getting 20 plus carries if he is running well. If he's running
Yeah, if
well,
he starts out strong, it's pretty likely, you know.
yeah.
Also, so like even starts to seasons, how we were talking earlier. Only 3 teams have ever made 0-2 and like actually done stuff. There's only been 3 teams in NFL history to actually win a Super Bowl. So like even it works the same way in college too. 0-2s don't go anywhere.
Facts. I don't think that's good. Is game 1 the most important game of his career?
Maybe, most likely, possibly. No Dion, no Shadur, no eligibility issues. Should win.
Yeah, honestly, you should win. You have the roster to run through this entire conference. But man, honestly, look, whoever dang, see this might be a good thing that we don't go to media day. Cuz something like this, something like what Ashton just said is something bold that like that one person, and I guarantee you it would probably be me or Ace that we would ask, and the whole room just turns and just goes like, did they just say that? And then it's like,
I mean, Ashton ain't wrong.
no,
Ashton ain't wrong. I would ask that. I was thinking, you want to say because you're like you expect them. They should be favorites going into this game. Like I said, no Dion. Half his coaching staff left. Half the players went into the transfer portal, and your starting quarterback who lit your butt on fire is not there anymore either.
not to mention the Twitter fingers that have been all over the internet the past 2 months.
Oh yeah,
That's just
should win.
that itself. I mean, personally, I would. You should, yeah, you should, because man, I say it like this: you should win, but if they lose, oh my god, it depends on the run game, that O line. That's the key to the off. It is. It's a huge key. You're going to need to control the line of scrimmage, and that's something that TC Taylor and both Willie mentioned at the Orange Blossom Classic press conference a month ago, I believe it was. They just both talked about trench play, and I was like, it's interesting that both these minds are thinking alike right now. It's really interesting. I mean, look, they loaded up on outside linebackers heavy. Fami loaded up on offensive linemen heavy. So we're going to definitely see who can control the interior the best. And whoever does is who's going to win. Play out. This, honestly, the last 2 years, I've always felt the most physical games that I've seen FAMU play have been the Southern game.
Pounded.
But if they come out and play like how they're expected to this year and not look like the 76 Bucks, knock on wood, this might end up being a more physical game than that was the last 2 years. Cool. And that transitions us like that.
Literally, the 76 Bucks. Let's talk about some Buccaneers, I guess. I don't know. Sure. Bucks got issues.
What happened now?
Nothing. You got Baker. You got Cal Trask. And nobody knows who's going to win that.
Oh.
It's Rashad White and nobody in the backfield.
Well, they brought in but that's not reliable.
Like I said, the NFC South is a thing. Yeah, Panthers fans thinking they can make the Super Bowl.
I've been saying, dude.
Or we win this out.
I've been saying, man, if you got the money for it, go get Dalvin Cook. Put him on an earn it deal and just go get him. But Jason Light's
Yeah.
not gonna do it. Jason Light's not gonna do it. I'm not doing it.
Poor J Peeps. He's got to worry about that.
Oh no, trust me, I'm
that,
not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I
you
understand.
get your eyes set on Caleb.
Not even, dude. Not even. I understand that, and this is where me and Stank Bastard and our friends at Bucking Idiots differ. I've enjoyed the time in the sun. I really have. If there was a down year this year, I would not be mad. It is literally a salary cap issue. It is literally a salary cap issue. So I would not be upset. And it's just like, get the money right. And then we see Jason Light is daring enough to go get big names. When the time comes, do it again. Trust me. I know. I understand. I get it. I firmly believe. So that's why when you have Saints, your Saints posse come on here and talk about the creamsicles and stuff and make jokes about how that's a loser, I just don't care.
Who said that?
Yeah, one of your boys, one of your little Saints friends came on here last week and said that in the
Oh
comments.
yeah. I remember that.
I'm just like,
and right here,
yeah, see that one right there. Him, AP. Bucks are trying to do a hard reset, but the issue is
like man was watching and he was waiting to say that. I feel like,
yeah, no, it might. You're absolutely right. It really might.
They want Caleb, but they're too good. They have like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on offense will score enough points by themselves to win a game. And with Caleb Williams, the way how this tank is gonna work, if you win one game, you're out, basically.
Pretty much. My thing is, who's gonna be worse? Who's gonna be that bad? I mean, the Rams. Okay, the Rams would probably be that bad, but like,
you want to know the Raiders?
Josh
Jacobs gonna be bye.
Why you gonna do that? See, look, Will in here watching this, and you gonna say that?
I'm sorry, Will Davis. My bad. But you know it's true. Raiders are garbage. I hope that Mark Davis, Cardinals, Kyler Murray depends on his health.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's another one too. Dang, the Raiders. You really think the Raiders gonna be
Man, the Raiders will be worse than the Cardinals. I feel like. Well, the Cardinals on offense is god awful without Kyler Murray. Though, is Marquise Brown and James Conner are your best weapons. That's terrible. At least the Raiders have Devontae, even though you have no one to get him the ball. God, that's just terrible. NFC East ain't gonna get Caleb, so we don't got to worry about that. Cardinals and Rams are gonna be competing for the worst spot, and guaranteed one of them is they're gonna split. I don't see them sweeping either one of each other.
I agree with that.
And then you have the Raiders. Everybody's gonna sweep the Raiders in that division. Exactly my point. It's gonna be the Raiders. The AFC is too good. And there's gonna be one bad team, and everybody's gonna sweep the Raiders. So, like, I expect the Cardinals and the Rams to split. I expect every team in that division to sweep the Raiders. So.
Oh my gosh, man, y'all are stepping on the Raiders today. Golly,
I was stepping on them when we was recording the AFC West preview. You remember?
Yeah, a lot has happened since then. I've been very busy, but I do vaguely remember. But my gosh,
I remember I went out. For like first 8 weeks were straight outs. But yeah, back to reality. So back to the other NFC South teams, I believe, right? Yeah. So the Falcons, we was talking about this last week, where that's the other team. They're gonna be too good to be in the play for Caleb, because their defense, Grady Jarrett's a little too good for them to be bad.
Oh, they also got
even AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell against non-physical wide receivers is all right, I guess. Ugh. But they're not gonna be Caleb's. They won't be bad enough for Caleb, so we don't have to worry about that. Either one of us.
No, they got
they brought back the red helmets.
Look, see, here we go. You got me on the jersey montage again. You about to make me get up and go get some more. But I will
Drunk
say
ain't here yet. You gotta wait for drunk.
that's true. Falcons run game is going to get them 8 or 9
Yeah.
wins. Yeah, honestly, see, my biggest fear with that is I just hope that they don't run Bijan Robinson in.
Bijan. No, but they got Algier too. It's not like they have a bad running back to get in between the tackles. They
Yeah,
can save Bijan a little bit with Tyler Algier taking heavier,
that's
harder, the more physical plays. You know what I mean? That save Bijan a little bit his career.
yeah. It's just I don't know, like I said, man, that's the one thing I'm just so fearful of. But I'm like you said too, they got Tyler Algier, so hopefully they do take a little bit of the load off of him. But and Patterson too. You're right, and Patterson,
Oh God! When the Saints play Cordero Patterson, they forget how to tackle anybody. Ugh.
who honestly
The
is
Saints can't tackle that man for some reason. Like hybrid players is the one set of players that the Saints can't play against. Like these tweeners, if you know what I mean. Like anytime they play a tweener, they can't stop them. Like like Jalen Hurts, he's like a mix of a running back and a quarterback, just like Lamar is, and
mm,
they just can't stop them. Cordero Patterson, they couldn't stop. Cal Pitts when healthy. Lattimore got toasted. I buy him, but we won't mention that exactly.
I will say though, he is a great fantasy player.
He was terrible last year.
Wow.
His coach said he was going to use him as a decoy. Oh my god, I can't forget that ever.
Well, I will say too, I didn't have him last year either. I had him the year before when he was producing, but yeah, I didn't have him last year.
Who
Somebody
had him? I don't. Somebody who was like last place had him probably. Wasn't me.
probably was Hendricks and didn't even do.
Hendricks was bad last year. Oh god.
But yeah, the other thing too that I was very happy about, speaking of uniforms, was
Browns or the Colts?
the Brown.
They
I
both
didn't like
agree.
the Colts one. I like the
Colts
Browns.
one was like, yeah, I don't like black with Colts. That
I
just didn't
mean,
feel right with them.
it should have been an all blue look, like a big old blueberry, honestly, with a white
They
horseshoe.
do have that though. Their color rush one that they use from time to time. There's the blue, all blue one they have. But they need a blue helmet. That's what they need.
They have one that they rarely ever wear.
Now, but
Rarely.
they need a new blue one is what I mean.
That's true too. They do. I agree. They do. It's just, man, I don't know why they make it. Some teams make it so hard. Like I would love to see the Falcons bust out that red jersey from the '80s, the Billy White Shoes Johnson era uniforms that I was telling you about earlier. I
Mm.
would love to see that come back with the red helmet, or honestly,
Well,
like even with the Browns, I like the all white combo with the white helmet. Like I like that. That's cool.
did he freeze? No,
No,
he didn't freeze.
what are you talking?
He was some of that, and then he just forgot about what he was saying. I guess.
Oh no, I
Mm.
just stopped because I thought you were gonna say something.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything. I was listening to your soliloquy.
Oh yeah, no, that's all I had to say. Yeah, that was all I had for the
Oh yeah, so
jersey.
the Browns went all white when they should have got. Well, it's whatever. I guess.
And
I mean, the Browns never had a good uniform anyway when they decided to name themselves the Browns.
winning cures a lot of that. That's all I can say. Winning cures a lot of it, but they don't
What the
win.
hell's a brown? And then they have their mascot as an elf right now.
Yeah, Brownie the elf.
Yeah, but like, what does Cleveland have to do with elves?
It's it's an old mascot from like back in the day. Similar to
Yeah, but like,
similar to why you were looking at the Lions logo. Like, why would the Lions do that? I'm like, dude, they're paying homage to like the 1950s. Same thing with the Browns. Like Brownie
so
the
we're
elf.
paying. I'm not saying that. I'm going to control for six. I would have thought. Never mind. You shut up. I'd have said something about the 1950s.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do
Let's
don't
not do that. We'll piss off a little
don't,
too many people with that. But
don't do.
speaking of no longer pissing people off, Washington Commanders got a new owner. He's gone. Dan Snyder finally sold the team, but
Who bought
not for the reason that we would prefer them to be. I guess
who bought the team now?
I gotta pull up the tweet from Schefter. He explained it kind of. It's a local guy. He got a $6 billion deal to buy
Okay.
the team.
Okay.
So yes. So how do we say this nicely? Okay, we don't care about the thing. So yeah, the dude named Josh Harris, localish guy, bought the team for $6.05 billion. Wait, for real? They were named after the owner Paul Brown.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true. Yeah, that is.
ego much bit, but like okay, I guess.
That's
So
why.
it'd be like if you call the Cowboys the Jones.
No. Well, Dallas was named after the Cowboys because like Cowboys, Texas.
I know that, but like Cleveland's like there's not much of like Cavaliers there either. Cleveland's weird.
I don't, dude. They've been the Cavs for a long time. But he is right though. That is why the Browns are
Yeah,
called.
it makes sense. CDP knows this stuff. I don't really pay attention to Cleveland. So yeah, so Josh Harris bought the Commanders for 6.05. So Snyder's no longer the owner. Unanimous approval. But here's the catcher, right? So
Mhm,
the investigation the former U.S. attorney person had about the financial misconducts going on,
mhm.
like the improprieties that they were using.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, this part.
Yes, that is true. That's very true. He got ran out and then he ran off and started the Bengals, and the Bengals stadium is actually named after him,
Mm-hmm.
which is wild.
Yeah, that dude got an ego.
And that's why that's why the Browns can't win or get past the AFC Championship. Every time they've tried, they failed miserably.
And that's why the Bengals haven't won a ring.
True. They've gotten
Joey.
closer than the Browns, but that's true too.
Sorry, Joey B. So yeah, so anyway, so this person named Mary Jo White was investigating the Commanders for the allegations of misconduct and financial improprieties on the Washington Commanders, right? So they found out that they withheld about 11 million in revenue from the other owners. Dan Snyder did, and you know what's the best part about that? That's just I'm pretty sure that's basically what got him to sell the team, and it wasn't the long list of sexual misconduct going on in that workplace. It was that he didn't give the owners their money. And, they fined him $60 million. A little slap on the wrist for big billionaires like that. Okay, cool. Bye-bye. You get
Well,
$6.05 billion and the $50 million that you got from that deal. You're just going basically $5.999 billion deal, basically.
I guess I will say at least Washington fans can take a sigh of relief now knowing that they've gotten rid of their rat hole owner and that better
Now,
days.
get him a new stadium and a new mascot and a new name. Commanders just doesn't sound right.
Get them a new stadium first and foremost because I've heard that is the worst stadium.
FedEx Field is terrible.
Dude, it's so many. I feel like there's so many safety violations in that stadium.
Remember when the pipes broke and that was just
Mm-hmm. If Jalen Hurts had been like about a few more,
the stands collapsed on top of Jalen Hurts.
yeah, like if he'd have been a few more inches over, his leg is done.
Mm-hmm.
His leg is literally done if he's a few more inches over. So yeah,
Well, let's just hope Josh Harris is halfway decent.
Hopefully,
Maybe he could be like how the Suns owner is and actually invest in the team. Maybe. Oh, that Suns owner hasn't understood how the NBA works and traded all his picks in about 3 months, 6 months. I mean,
yeah, you got to do something
trying to
because
buy a ring.
you're looking at a franchise that hasn't been to a Super Bowl since 1991, a franchise that hasn't won a Super Bowl since what, 1987 with Doug Williams. Or no, they won it in 91. They haven't been since 91, but it's been a while.
Mm-hmm. About 32 years.
Yeah, so then
Older than both of us.
Yes, something's got to give. So hopefully this is a turning in the right direction type deal for them. But yeah. Also, too, something interesting about Jerry Rice that you probably didn't know is prior to the Super Bowl, Jerry Rice did not eat. He didn't eat,
Mhm.
didn't sleep, which
Did
is
eat on the field, he said. You gotta eat your opponents alive.
dude. See, that's crazy. I'm sorry, dude, but look, I don't care if the Super Bowl starts at 6:30 and I wake up at 8 a.m. I'm gonna eat me something, dude. I'm sorry.
I would be starving. I would not be able to move. I'd be like, I'm gonna die. I need
I
food.
I can understand not being able to sleep the night before the game because it's the biggest game of your life.
Yeah,
But
but
my
not eating is just
that's a different level. That's a different level. I understand wanting to be as light
like
as possible and everything, but
this
yeah,
Washington somehow.
yeah, that's true too. They haven't won a playoff game since.
Now
They
be that Taylor Heineke almost beat Tom Brady. Just never forget that moment.
That's true. Yeah, I remember that. I was sitting here watching it.
That
He
was the
almost,
Washington football team.
almost.
Oh, very
Yeah,
close. He came closer to beating Brady than Breeze or Rodgers. That was the crazy part.
yeah, very.
Oh,
Yeah,
because somebody named Jared Baum decided to hold his football like this instead of like this. We won't get into that. Or Kevin King forgetting how to play corner. We won't mention that either.
stop. Stop. See,
But
stop.
mainly Jared Cook. He did not cook. He vomited everywhere.
Wow. Also,
Still
too,
pain in that moment.
the other thing too,
Anyways, continue.
your boy DeAndre Hopkins is now the newest Tennessee Titan. Now,
Yeah, his career over.
I'll say that. Look,
Actually, where wide receivers go to die. Who would
I'm
have thought?
happy for him getting out of there, but it is starting. If you look at it, like Andre Johnson, Julio Jones. Now you got DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm forgetting. And there was another one
Randy
too.
Moss.
Yeah, Randy Moss. Like it feels like Tennessee is the
That's where
last.
they go to die.
Yeah, I feel like Tennessee's like the last stop out of the league.
Tennessee needs a rebrand. Those blue colors just don't go good.
It. I
That
like them.
stadium, I don't like the Titans themselves. Like you look at the Titans and you just don't expect them to win. I'm gonna be dead honest. You don't expect the Titans to win a Super Bowl. Like how they're branded.
So, are you saying the best thing that ever happened to Tennessee was Steve McNair?
No, like now with that way how they're uniformed up and like everything, it's just like you don't expect them like when you go to Nissan Stadium, you expect them to win, and that what it's still called, right? I think they're getting a new one, but still.
They're gonna renovate Nissan Stadium and like put like all the dings and bells and whistles on it and stuff, like how
Yeah, but like
SoFi
just
Stadium.
rebrand everything. Like the Titans is such a cool thing. Look how Vegas the Golden Knights uniforms are. Like give it like a good vibe. Not the dull blue looking colors, man. Give them a more like vibrant and like warfare type of thing, man. See, back then it looked good. Now you're like, what the hell? Shit, hold on.
He's got a point. Yeah, he's right. Honestly, that like Steve McNair and Eddie George made those Titan uniforms. Indeed, they made them look amazing. They made honestly like when Tennessee was like had first come onto the scene, they made Tennessee like it. The only problem was is they had to deal with the Ravens. Give or take, they got to a Super Bowl the year prior to the Ravens getting there, but it's just it was hard. It was hard. But I mean, look, I like the Titans uniform. I like the franchise and stuff. I just feel like when
It's hard
things
to take them seriously.
not even take them seriously. It just feels like when things were really starting to get going for them, they couldn't capitalize on the moment. That's what it seems like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I.
There's so
That's why.
much they could do with like the name Titans, and they decide to go with a navy blue with the baby blue and gray.
And white
Now,
and a splash of red.
a little touch of red. See, in the old days, it was a nice white helmet, easy thing. With that high color, Now it's just like, dull blue helmets, and you're like, with a gray face mask, and you're like, I don't take him seriously. Like Ryan Tannehill doesn't scare me. I'm sorry, D Hop. He don't put no fear in me. Will Levis definitely don't put no fear in me. Not no man who eats mayonnaise in their coffee. That's gonna put fear in me. Now
Stop.
Malik Willis, like he got the moves on him, but he's way too unrefined to do anything. Not in Tennessee. He needs like an actual coach that would be an offensive guy. Not Mike Vrabel's a good coach, but he ain't a quarterback whisperer type of coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stat line for D Hop. D Hop will somehow, if he is like how he was back in like the Texans days, he'll probably get 1,000 and like 7 touchdowns. If he was prime D Hop nowadays, I'd probably give him like 800 if he stays healthy. Eight
Now the
nine
thing
hundred.
is, the trick is gonna be who's gonna be throwing on the ball. Like I still got my money on Ryan Tannehill, but you gotta remember you got Malik Willis who's falling out of favor with the staff, and then you got
Ryan Tannehill shouldn't even like Malik Willis wasn't he went in the wrong situation. Will Levis was getting outplayed by Malik Willis.
mhm.
I mean, like, I don't have no faith in Tennessee right now.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs
Tennessee
either.
is the worst team, in my opinion, right now. The minute Derrick Henry leaves, and Derrick Henry is
Honestly,
not staying healthy enough to be able to carry him right now, unless he has one more god year in him. Tennessee don't fear me.
I'll be real
Or,
with you,
I don't
dude.
fear Tennessee.
I thought that D Hop should have went to New England.
New England don't put no fear in me either in that team.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. But I feel like it would have been a
Yeah,
better.
Tannehill is good, but like his offensive style, he's not going to be able to carry a team. Like Diop might get him a decent season again, but like there's a reason why they've drafted quarterbacks the last 2 years back to back.
Yeah, you gotta start planning for that future.
And Tannehill hasn't been able to stay healthy. That's his issue.
Facts. That's facts.
And like they didn't trust Willis at all with the play calling last year.
And also, they lost Taylor Lewan, so they lost their leader on the line.
Yeah, they have a newbie on the left side.
Yeah, see, that's gonna be interesting.
Hmm.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
but yeah.
That's it.
Also, before we do move on, I meant to talk about this Pro Football Hall of Fame stat line or lineup, I should say. So, as far as that goes,
Wait. Time out.
wait, what was up?
They weren't, yeah, like they weren't bad. They got Jeffrey Simmons on that line. Harold Landry will be back this year, but like Kevin Byard's good. It was like Taylor Fairway ain't staying healthy. That was one of those misses I had on draft night. I thought he was gonna be able to beat the back allegations. Yeah, nah, he couldn't beat the back allegation. Then he tore his ACL. He doesn't fear. I don't fear him either. But Vrabel's a good coach. Vrabel will win games. It's just like, does Derrick Henry have enough to make it through? Because like Harold Haskins got himself arrested for being a nut job. So
Tell me about. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna read off this these names for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but tell me about this though.
Oh, the Jordan Addison, not Harold Haskins. It's the one we got to talk about.
Oh, okay. So the Pro Football Hall of Fame class order has been announced for 2023. So Zach Thomas is going to kick things off. Zach Thomas played with the Dolphins and everything. Second, as we already said earlier, will be Ken Riley. Third will be former Cowboy and Denver Bronco DeMarcus Ware. Joe Klecko will be fourth. Chuck Howley will be fifth. Darrell Revis. It's crazy. We got 3 DBs in this class too. He will go after Chuck Howley, Don Coryell, Rondé Barber, and then Joe Thomas. I don't know why Joe Thomas is like the main event speaker. I feel like
Everybody loves Joe Thomas, guys. He's on NFL Network, right? Yeah, I think he's on NFL Network.
Honestly,
such a good icon. He chose to stay in Cleveland over win. He's such a great guy, guys.
Is it just me or does it seem like there's like a bias towards guys that work for NFL Network getting in the Hall of Fame? Is it just me? Ace doing that, so it must get ready to say something.
No. You done said it. I ain't say it.
I mean, because it's like,
Yeah, he was like the heavy face, like the symbol of what an NFL player should be, sticking with your team even if they suck and were dysfunctional for years. But he was a great guy, I guess. Like cool.
yeah, makes
But a
sense.
lot of guys who work for NFL Network do get into the Hall of Fame.
They do. The only two that are waiting, well, Steve, no, is it two? Can't even keep track
Steve
anymore.
Smith. No, did Steve Smith get in?
No, Steve Smith's not getting. He's not in. Personally, I feel like he needs to wait. If look, I say it like this: if Drew Pearson had to wait since what the '80s to get in, Steve Young, not Steve Young, Steve Smith. Uh, who else did someone throw out there that's eligible now? Who else? Who else? Andre Johnson is another name that someone threw out there that's eligible. Oh my gosh, who else was another average, like not average wide receiver? I'm trying to think, but yeah, definitely
Oh, the
those.
brain's not as fast as it used to be.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I don't even know what you just
Keep
said.
thinking. Let the brain click nice and slow.
Look, I got so many other things on my mind, dude. But yeah. Oh no, I agree. No, it was
Yeah,
he if he's on the 1970s all time team, he should have been in. Again, goes back to what we said about Ken Riley and also Kenny Stabler. Why did either one of those guys have to wait so long? It makes no sense at all. They should not have had to wait. Ray Guy, as a punter, should not have had to wait for so long to get in. Like,
did he
dude,
work for NFL Network? No.
it's insane. And it's crazy because I feel like the day is coming for Steve Smith, which means long.
Yeah, once the 17 game thing hits, and like wide receivers are just putting up video game numbers now because nobody's afraid to hit them, and the NFL's making it possible to hit them. Like the
Mhm.
guys who used to get the contested hard stuff, yeah, it's making it hard.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's
All
crazy.
right, so do you want to hear the story of Jordan Addison going 140 and a 70? I think it was.
140 and a 70.
Yeah, he was going 140. Yeah, like did Henry Ruggs not teach you anything?
Why would you?
Now, albeit he wasn't going at no, it was 140 and a 55 in Minnesota. But now, Henry Ruggs did not teach you anything. But he wasn't going as fast as Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs was going 156.
Why would you? Why?
Hey,
Why?
he wasn't a Urus, not a Corvette.
Still, why?
Hey, 140 in an SUV is pretty impressive, I'm not gonna lie. But still, why?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even think I can get to 140. I think I can. I have to check my gauge next time I go out there. But
It is a Urus, so they jack those things up.
what? 140 and a 50. Who? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, is it the money? Is it something else? Is it just you have too much time on your hands? Like, I don't get it.
He's lucky he wasn't in some place. Some places that's like lost the license, jail immediately. But I think he got reckless driving right now, is what he got. He only got a citation, but for speed and reckless driving. He didn't get a charge.
I
He
would
got lucky. Some place would book him right then and there.
I
Them
just
like smaller towns.
I would just love to know what goes through the mind of a lot
If
of
you
these.
want to go that fast, run out of NASCAR. Like, no, he wasn't drunk. They didn't say nothing about DUI. It was 3 a.m. He was just going fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, geez, at least Henry Ruggs was not at least,
Henry
but
Ruggs was drunk.
yeah, he was
Jordan
drunk
Addison was just
and
sober. Basically.
he had a gun in the car, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get why
All
would you
right. Somebody really made this. They got too much time on their hands.
Henry Ruggs on the Vikings, wide receiver Jordan Addison
That was
getting
fake.
someone get that man a beer.
I know we shouldn't be laughing because somebody died with Henry Ruggs, but like, how stupid you gotta be? Just go and like when NASCAR is in a city not far.
Yeah, so this man is sober saying I'm gonna go 40, 140, 55.
In the decision making I'm making. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you want to go fast,
What?
go fly over to Nuremberg. I can't say I never could be able to say it, but I know the track. Germany, biggest track out there. You want to go for 140? No, there's a track. Is it Belgium? Oh god, I'm forgetting. There's a track and it has like a giant straightaway, and you can just go as fast as you want on that track.
I was gonna say
Not
Daytona
Nuremberg.
Speedway.
You yeah, go Daytona, go to Speedway, go to a NASCAR track if you want to go that fast. You got money, run it out.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I don't get what goes through the minds of these players, dude, especially when they're so young and everything. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Couldn't be me. Could not be me. But all right, let's go on over to
Daytona's got a 2.5 mile straight if you want to go fast.
there you have it. There you have it.
Actually, that's right.
Um
Here, you want to go fast? You can go race an F1. They have a nice long straightaway. And where is this place? This is not Shanghai. Yeah, Korea International Circuit. We got a nice one too. Abu Dhabi's got a really nice one. You want to go race? Go to Belgium. Or hell, better yet, you want to go if you want to race, play Forza.
crazy. Just crazy. But yeah, folks, that's gonna take us to college football. So one thing I took away from SEC Media Days today, and well, throughout SEC Media Days, honestly, couple things. Someone asked Kirby Smart about University of Georgia's weak schedule. And he told him, he said, if you think it's so weak, how about you play it? And then also, an LSU player was asked about what they think, and also Nick Saban got asked about it too. And age and experience shows in these cases. The LSU player basically said, I hope they know what they're getting into. Nick Saban fires back and says, I think it's great for the league. It shows the evolution and the ever evolving wheel that this league has. And personally, I agree with both. I hope Texas and Oklahoma both know what they're getting into. But I also think it's good for the league in the long term. It shows the growth that the league has made.
Yeah, you want to see a mismatch between the SEC and the Big 10, Big 12, and what Texas and Oklahoma is going to get themselves into?
Mm-hmm.
Watch Oklahoma versus LSU, 2019 playoffs. It was a 2020, I guess. Technically, it'd be 2020
Yeah, it was
at
like
that point.
2020.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Put that game on and watch Joe Burrow annihilate Jalen Hurts.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, like that LSU team was like the best ever, like one of the best, like top two ever between them and the '90s Miami team.
2001.
But 2001, thank you. Like, yeah, that is where the difference is between talent levels.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami and Oklahoma do not have the recruiting in the trenches to be able to match either one of like LSU, Georgia, or Alabama.
Texas and Oklahoma.
They just don't.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Who did I say?
You said Miami.
You know what I'm saying? Like LSU and Miami, like were the best college teams ever. But then, yeah, Texas, Oklahoma, they don't have the trenches to match LSU, Alabama, and Georgia.
Now, I will say the one thing that they did hint at is the matchup that you're going to get next year, Georgia and Texas, and then you're also going to get
Georgia by 30.
you're also going to get Oklahoma.
Sorry, Archie.
You.
Archie should be starting by next year, but like,
And I think Oklahoma has to go to Death Valley at night. Likely, it will be at night. Texas this year alone has to go into Tuscaloosa at night. So it's going to be wild. And the thing is I had someone on here tell me on Twitter, I think they don't, and they don't care. And then I also had someone else tell me too, they will both struggle week to week. It's going to be brutal. But
this is going to take them a transition period.
I also looked at Texas's schedule. Texas has an easier road in the SEC than Oklahoma does. But I will say too, if you're going to come in, I do expect both to come in like how Texas A&M and Missouri did. How both came in like gangbusters and just like took the whole league by storm and basically forced everyone to evolve. Because I mean, look, Alabama had to adapt to play Johnny Manziel. Missouri was in a very weak outside. Well, yeah, they were in a very weak at the time SEC East. I should say not weak, but like somewhat weak SEC East. Georgia didn't have the horses in 2013 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
Florida didn't have the horses in 14 or in 13.
That was Dan Mullen, I think.
No, this was Will Muschamp.
Oh, Muschamp. Yeah.
This is what Will Muschamp is still at this time was still the coach of Florida, and Mark Richt was in his final days at Georgia. Mark Richt had in the 2 years prior, Mark Richt had went back-to-back SEC championships in 2011 and 2012. The next year, I think it was Barry Odom, had gone back-to-back SEC East titles and took Mizzou. But Mizzou obviously was not in the West, so Mizzou had an easier track.
Yeah, Pac-12 was actually decent back then.
Yeah? Because, I mean, well, Oregon
AAC was not the AAC. The ACC was good. That was the AAC's. ACC. Why do I keep saying A? I don't know. Anyway, ACC. That was the conference back then. Now it's the SEC is the one to beat.
The SEC was still the conference back then because you remember that was the middle of the
2013 to 15 was like the Florida State running everything kind of thing.
Yeah, for Florida State. Yeah, because they went Florida State, Ohio State, and then back to Alabama. But yeah, the SEC kind of fell asleep for a little minute, adapting to a new playoff system.
And then the SEC took back over the show, and now the SEC is different to what is coming with Oklahoma and Texas.
Facts. And so yeah, I think honestly, as long as if Texas and Oklahoma can maintain whatever they come in with, if they come in on a good note, they'll be fine. But if they don't, they're going to end up looking just like Missouri and Texas A&M. But yeah.
In other words, another news, I guess we could talk about of drama is Jeremy Pruitt. Man, let's talk about that.
Did you hear about that?
No. Only hear tidbits. Like, you see it and you're like, well, what the hell is this shit? Then you're like, well, I don't know. Context, please.
Look, I got you. Hold on, because you ain't going to believe it. You ain't going to believe it. So, Jeremy Pruitt, wait, hold up, that's not it. Wait, let me find it. Here it is.
Give him a second. He's not very fast in his thinking.
Jeremy Pruitt told investigators that George Floyd was on his mind when he gave a Tennessee player's mom $300 in a Chick-fil-A bag.
Okay, I'm sorry, but what does one have to do with the other?
Pruitt said he thought about racial inequity and the high-profile killings of black people when he gave a player's mother $300 in a Chick-fil-A bag.
Yeah. You can see my reaction. Oh wait, give me a second. I got it. You give me an idea. Ready? You know what's coming.
I know. I just want to know what possesses
Somebody to say that.
not even just to say it, but to even just think it.
Think about it. Like, I'm sorry, but what does I don't get it. What does one have to do with the other?
He said he said he felt sorry. He's basically saying like he thought about the high profile killings and the racial inequity, and he said, you know what, I'm going to give this woman $300 in a Chick-fil-A bag. This was his version, I guess, of trying to pay reparations. And this is also the reason why I think he has not been invited back to Nick Saban's clinical rehab to resurrect his own career. Because why would you?
Sports Illustrated. Read this slide. Disgraced college football coach Jeremy Pruitt says he's committed numerous NCAA violations during his controversial tenure at Tennessee.
Yeah, he has.
Because
And
he
that's
felt
where
bad about George Floyd. Okay, I mean, like, but still, what does one? I mean, I don't know.
I know. And this is part of the whole Tennessee will not receive a postseason ban. I think they surrendered I think they surrendered all their wins from like the Jeremy Pruitt era, but that's it. It's terrible. It's just terrible. But yeah, that's what Jeremy Pruitt told a recruit's mother. Think about it. What if a coach told your mother that? I wouldn't be playing there. I know that for a fact.
You know my boy Vader.
Yeah. I know.
It's like subtly saying you're broke, you're poor, and you're not on my level.
And then a measly little $300. That's the slap in the face.
Takes me back to high school when this teacher said, "You don't speak high. Your family doesn't speak high level English." It's the same type of thing. It's like it might seem like you're trying to be nice, but like the way you do it and what it actually is, that is just more insulting than anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And to add more salt to the wound, which has been a very interesting last couple.
Like so we got Jeremy Pruitt saying dumbass shit, right? Then we got Northwestern and that whole.
And they're launching an investigation, by the way.
Oh yeah, Northwestern is gonna have some major stuff come out.
It gets deeper and deeper and deep. Oh my gosh, God, I wish I could find it right now.
Please
Damn.
don't tell me play dirt.
They're launching an internal investigation into their own program amidst all of this to try to find things that have gone wrong. I'm curious. Oh, wait, here it is. Oh, there's a video of it. Attorney former.
Did Rashawn Slater or one of them ever say anything like the Northwestern guys in the league?
Attorneys spotlight a toxic culture within Northwestern athletics. This was allegedly oh my God. I'm curious to see what they find when they do this internal investigation because it's going to be very, very messy. They're gonna clean house. And
I don't
honestly,
know what these college teams right now. They got no sense in their head.
And the problem is you think it's going to get better, but it's not because you still have the remnants of Pat Fitzgerald. Pat Fitzgerald still in Northwestern because his assistants are still the coaches there. So I can guarantee you, if Pat Fitzgerald knows about it, the assistants know about it too.
The Titans, the guy they drafted to replace Taylor Lewan with the Skotarinsky guy, Peter Skotarinsky. Say his name right?
Yeah, Peter Skorinsky.
Skoronsky, my apologies. Yeah, he was Northwestern. I wonder if he knows anything about this going on.
Well,
there.
likely. I'm
I
sure
wonder if
he.
Rashawn Slater knows anything going on there.
It's just
Or they were involved in that.
it's terrible. All right, one final thing before we do get out of here tonight. Paul Feinbaum says Nick Saban's legacy is on the line. Dude, I'm telling you, college football just gets more and more hilarious, and we haven't even played a single
Dude.
down yet.
I'm sorry, but I think I might need to keep this. I'm gonna have to keep this up for every time we talk college football now. I'm sorry. We'll just keep this up every time we talk college football.
It's crazy because it's like you got the stupidity going on at Northwestern that Pat Fitzgerald knew about. You got Jeremy Pruitt giving moms $300 in Chick-fil-A bags, and then you got Paul Feinbaum saying Nick Saban's legacy is on the line, even though Nick Saban's won more national titles than anybody, more than Bear Bryant, more than Frank Leahy, more than John McKay. Like, come on. No. If anything, Georgia, if there's any team that is a threat to Georgia three-peating, it's an upset Alabama team that was not satisfied with the results of the last 2 years.
Miller showed to the rescue for Alabama. I don't know.
Somebody.
I don't know about Jalen. How many TDs do you think? Oh, here we go.
To be honest, Paul Feinbaum said on First Take that his legacy as a great coach isn't on the line, but his reputation as the best coach in college football right now.
But I mean, like,
That is
only Kirby Smart has a chance at it.
That's true too. It really is only Kirby. Because honestly, I felt that.
And who made Kirby Smart? Give it a second.
Even I will say, I felt like if Alabama had gotten in the playoff and had been on the other side playing against either.
If Alabama remembered how to play in overtime, they'd be in the playoff.
Yeah. Like I said, I felt Alabama was better than both Michigan and TCU based on what both put on the field.
Alabama would have steamrolled TCU
and Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I thought so.
But I was saying mainly TCU because like we knew TCU was like the second they played an SEC team.
They ain't want no piece of it. They ain't want no piece of it.
Well, that's what's going to be the issue when they go to the 12 team next year. It's gonna be a disaster. How many teams will ever make it from the SEC in it? The semifinal will be the SEC versus SEC again.
It will be. It will. With the hint of ACC teams splashed in, whoever gets there between Florida State and Clemson, if Florida State and Clemson are physically able to match up.
I don't even know who Ohio State quarterback if he's going to be any good. Like how CJ and Justin were, so you can't even say Ohio State, even if they have the best two wide receivers in college football.
Honestly,
well, it's kind of debatable for two between Emeka and LSU's. So
I think honestly, right now,
you know, give me y'all underdog teams to win this college football so I can look smart in other chats. What up, Drunk?
Underdog.
Anyway, underdog teams. So does that mean non-SEC? Because like I'm pretty sure the SEC is gonna win it again.
I'll give it to you by conference. SEC, I'm going Alabama, Georgia, or LSU.
I'll take LSU.
Or
if you need a true underdog, I'll take LSU this year.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If I had to go to the ACC,
I gotta take him. ACC.
I'm
maybe
going.
Nick is actually halfway decent. Maybe.
Clemson.
Yeah, before the State or Clemson in that division, but like Florida State, I kind of feel like will be the favorites in that conference right now.
Yeah, because of who they've added.
Mm-hmm. So maybe Kate Klubnik, that guy. I really don't know, but I feel like if it had to be someone from the ACC, it'd be him.
Pac-12. I'm gonna say USC.
I'm gonna take Colorado. You gonna take USC?
You gonna say Colorado? I knew you about to say Colorado.
Hey, he said underdog. Washington would be my pick over Colorado if I had to take one.
So, oh no, he did not. So Jackson State University's B team is gonna. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me shut up. Let me shut up.
Oh, God.
LSU is a safe underdog. I do love some Brian Kell. Yeah, honestly, look, LSU is a safe underdog.
Okay, will win the regular season. It's the playoffs is the issue with him.
I think honestly, I look, they were better than TCU.
LSU would have steamrolled at TCU.
Yes,
Jaden Daniels would have lit them up.
exactly. Tennessee was better than TCU.
Neighbors would have torched them.
Yeah.
It's between him or Mecca for second best wide receiver behind Marvin. So like,
There were literally 4 teams in the SEC. That goes to show you right there. TCU would not even have clinched either the East or the West, or even finished like top 6 probably in the SEC as a whole.
They wouldn't have. They probably wouldn't have beat Missouri.
No, that would have given them Missouri, but I don't think they would have. I don't think they would have beat Ole Miss. They would not have.
Oh
beaten
no, almost would have won.
Yeah, no.
I was just saying like that's a tier,
Yeah. Oh yeah, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Tennessee, Ole Miss. TCU is like the 6th best team in the SEC.
Hey, I'm gonna take Washington because I'm gonna give USC the favorite in the Pac-12, so I'm gonna take Washington. Big 12. God, that conference is dog crap now.
Big 12 right now. I can't even say Oklahoma. I can't.
Oh, Baylor, I have no faith in. TCU, no faith in. Kansas State, no faith in. Ain't nobody from the Big 12 have a chance.
The best. They can't even say them.
Give me LSU's my underdog. Let me just take LSU straight out.
Honestly, I'm going to LSU, Florida. LSU, Florida State. Whoever wins in Orlando. Honestly, week 1.
For real, between Jordan Travis or Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, that's the best underdog.
If Jordan Travis stays healthy, I'll take him. But
I would also throw Michigan in there as far as a Big 10 team. I would throw Michigan in there.
I was thinking Kansas, but I'm like, how much of last year, like, they went from a winless team to having multiple upsets, and I'm like, do they keep improving and fully shock everybody? I think that's Jalen Daniels, right? That's him over there in Kansas.
Jalen.
I think it's Jalen Daniels in Kansas. If I'm not mistaken, you have to check that. I believe it is him. He was talking some smack too the other day.
So that's Jalen Daniels. He actually showed up at Big 12 Media Day with like a chain that had his highlights playing on it. He's been very full of himself. But I guess you can do that when you literally lead a giant turnaround for Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't surprise me if Kansas built upon 6 and 7 it was, because they didn't win the bowl game against Arkansas. And I know this because the SEC network replays it to no end. But I mean, yeah, that's who I go with.
I don't know if
LSU, Michigan.
What's his name? That's not Jamar Jefferson. Who's the KJ? Is it KJ Jefferson, the quarterback in Arkansas?
Yeah, KJ.
Yeah, I don't think KJ is going to be able to make a run all the way in Arkansas. So, if it had to be a team, it's got to be the LSU's got to be the true underdog drunk.
I agree with that.
I'll take neighbors and Jaden Daniel. Well, with that being said, do we have anything else to talk about? Any hot topics? Oh yeah, we have basketball with Draymond, Jordan Poole, and stuff like that. And Kuminga, but Draymond just being a douche teammate like always. Drunk, stay off the Hennessy and stop mixing drinks. Don't mix brown and white.
Yeah. Oh my God. See, you almost got me in trouble. You almost got me in trouble. I almost said it. I almost said
What
it.
are you gonna say?
You
What are you
almost
gonna say?
you don't want to know what I'm about to say. You almost got me though, but I ain't say it. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm keep my mouth shut. But
Don't
Dan,
mix your browns and your whites. Drunk. Come on now. Stick with cheap vodka. Don't
see,
mix no bourbon in it.
let's see how Ace almost got me. Ace almost got me, boy. I had to keep my mouth shut. Oh man.
You ain't jumping off. You ain't jumping out a window when he said that. You jumping. You ain't. You ain't been jumping out of a window when he said that. You jumped out of a rocket ship going to space.
Well, he jumped out of the airplane with no parachute. Brown and white. Hey, let me stop. See, y'all need to stop. Y'all gonna get me in trouble. Y'all gonna get me in trouble. Y'all need to stop. We need to go ahead and just end this. We need to go on that note. We need to just go ahead and end this now because y'all finna get me in trouble, and it's not even Friday yet.
Oh God.
And watch when we get off the air, he gonna look at me like how that image is in the back of his background. That's how he
Oh
gonna
wait, come on this side so you can see. I don't know.
look.
There you go.
Some JP's. What you know? I know he gonna do that. We need to. That's gonna do it for us, folks. We done for the night because y'all gonna get me in trouble.
Shout out Will. Shout out Ashton. Shout out AP, and shout out Drunk for the good comments as always.
Yes,
Uh,
because we appreciate you guys
yeah, it was a
deeply.
great comment section again.
Yes,
I
it
just
was.
have fun with the comment section. That was great.
It's amazing. We appreciate it. Y'all keep this thing going. As
Next
always,
week we'll talk about actual football. No people, no boots. Will be great. Have a great conversation about Swag Media Day. Who
also
knows
hope
what happens? Because NFL training camp will be going by then, or will be about to start. I think training camp starts that day next week, Wednesday. You know, so we'll have stuff to talk about NFL. Who knows? You know, like we will have better deals. Maybe Dalvin Cook signs with somebody by next week. You never know.
we'll count on that.
MLB still kind of figuring themselves out after All Star break. NBA will be dead, so we have nothing to talk about in the NBA. Oh yeah, the NBA select team for the World Cup. That was funny. They have all the second year and first year players they announced, and I made a joke saying, so Paolo and Walker Kessler were the only teams only two guys to make varsity. Everybody else got JV'd. They was the only rookies to make it into the actual team. So that's a little thing there. But yeah, we won't have anything NBA wise until the World Cup in August, which will be kind of boring. Nothing NHL wise, but we'll figure it out. We'll make fun.
Yeah, we will.
Previews will be dropping out soon. So be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Shout out y'all for 150, like always.
Let's keep climbing.
And keep climbing, keep growing. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a new, more drunk, more AP, more Ashton, more Will Davis showing up in the chat.
As
And then
always.
we'll never end the show. Or we'll have to end it early because one of them makes us laugh too hard.
Or when y'all's just gonna get somebody in trouble, like how y'all finna do me. So that's why I'm finna keep my mouth shut. I'm finna just get off of here now.
That's why I'm doing the closing. Stay safe, stay blessed. See y'all next week. We're out.
Yes, sir.